It's playoff time. Big stakes, bigger promotions. Every day of basketball playoffs, DraftKings will have $20,000 in total prizes up for grabs. The best part? It's free to get your shot at these daily cash prizes. DraftKings will be offering 2 free play pools every day of the NBA playoffs, offering players a free shot at $20,000 in total prizes. DraftKings free-to-play pools are easy to enter. Just download the DraftKings app, go to pools, and choose from a wide variety of free contests for an opportunity to win cash prizes. All you have to do is answer a handful of questions around what you think is going to happen during that day's basketball games and track your results throughout that evening. Questions will range from which team will hit the most threes to which team will score first. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use the promo code THPN when you sign up to get your free shot at $20,000 in total prizes every day of the basketball playoffs. Head to DraftKings Pools page to get your shot at huge cash prizes. That's promo code THPN for limited time only at DraftKings. Eligibility restriction apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB podcast, part of the Hockey Podcast Network. It's Jarom. It's Tanner. What's up, bud?
What's going on, man? Feeling good. Getting ready to get out of Chicago and go camping for a week, so I'm excited.
Nice. Oh, yeah, you always have like Memorial Day weekend, right?
No. Oh, it's usually around Aileen's like birthday, so we're actually just doing it a little bit earlier this year.
Nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be good shit.
Yes. So, not a lot going on.
I keep like interrupting, but I was gonna say I'm gonna be missing like all of the hockey this week.
And it's some exciting hockey.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it'll be all right. I'll come back and it'll be deeper in the playoffs, and this will be even more exciting.
You want to touch on the playoffs first, and then we'll get into our little Hawks recap season?
Yeah, why not? Let's do a little playoff talk right now.
All right, so I think the biggest story of the playoffs so far, Game 1, Montreal, Toronto, Tavares with just an absolutely brutal injury. He gets hit by, I forgot who he got hit by.
Ben Sherratt.
And then as he's going down, Corey Perry coming out of the zone, and he tries to like avoid the falling Tavares and gets his knee right into Tavares' face and just completely knocks Tavares out. Like, it was a scary scene.
Yeah, it was brutal to watch, and especially when they kept the camera on him afterwards, when the trainer's out there trying to help him, and he's holding his head straight, trying to make sure that there's no like neck like problems or damage. And Tavares just gets up on his knees and just completely falls backwards. I
think it's just out of instinct. He tries to get up and head over to the bench, but yeah, it right there, the look on his face, you knew he was in bad shape. Ended up being okay though. The test results came back and they ruled out any like structure damage to the neck, to the head, and to the spine and all that. They did say he did injure his knee in the play. He'll be out at least 2 weeks for the knee injury, but now the concussion is a different story. That
the thing that it made sense to me that there was no like head or neck damage, just because it's very reminiscent of like any time you hear about like a drunk driver getting in an accident, because they're like so out of it, like they don't tense up when they get hit, where he had gotten hit and was falling. He didn't expect that to happen at all, so he didn't have time to tense his neck up, which could have really fucked it up. But like that's why it kind of was a little bit more loose. But yeah, still just brutal.
Let me ask you this: after like right when play began again, Perry and Foligno dropped the gloves and fought. Did you think that had to happen?
Not really, but I think where Foligno is coming from, like I don't know if he got the chance to see a replay or anything, and all he's seen is Tavares is down, it looks terrible, and Corey Perry was the one that like hit him. And it's kind of like, if you don't know exactly what happened and your captain is out of the game, out of the series, I think you got to understand like where he's coming from. I don't even think Perry threw a punch that entire time too.
Yeah, I think he just absorbed it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Noli said it best in our group text. It's the only time I'm going to say I feel bad for Perry. That was like just such a shitty situation that he can avoid. And it kind of blows my mind too, looking on social media, people commenting on it, saying how this is proof that hockey's just turning too violent and Corey Perry is absolute like a scumbag. Corey Perry is a scumbag, in my opinion. This wasn't his fault. This was not a hockey play. This was a freak accident.
Right. I think Corey Perry is just a pest. Like, yeah. I mean, he'll annoy and bug the shit out of you, but I'm guaranteeing there's no way he ever wanted anything like that to happen either.
Him and Tavares are good friends, supposedly. So it's like you're not.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably on Team Canada together, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just So it's just kind of like why people are using so many things that you can use like an argument as like, okay, hockey needs to like tone it down a bit or whatever. This is not that moment.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is a freak accident that could have happened to anybody in any situation. I'm honestly not a professional level, but I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often in hockey. Like you hear stories about like this because, it is such a fast-paced game and all that. And people are only judging what happened based off the slow-mo replay that they kept showing on TV and showing on social media. Again, play that full speed. Nothing he could have done.
Yeah. I mean, it happens in a split second. So.
And then the other, scumbag, if you want to do scumbag of the week, go to the journalism. The Toronto Sun.
Yeah.
And a picture of just Tavares bloody face and just completely out of it on that front page of their sports section and just titled it Captain Crunch.
Yeah, that was in such poor taste.
Hometown paper too. Like
the shitty thing is the fact that like, I mean, because newspapers are basically becoming like obsolete. So what they got to do in order to get people to talk about them is usually say some shit that's going to be very controversial, and that way like they don't completely like fucking fall out of the limelight ever. I mean, nobody was probably buying a paper like that one probably sold a shit ton. That's all I'm gonna say. It is fucking just terrible though.
But yeah, so best wishes to Tavares. Hopefully he gets out there. Hopefully Toronto keeps moving on so he can get a chance to play. I know it's like a weird feeling not having your captain out there with you.
Yeah. I mean, luckily enough too, like he did give the thumbs up on the way off the ice. I mean, even Dubas came out and said that like what the Sun had wrote was just disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I never understood that.
Yeah. And then the Leafs lost that game too.
Yeah, 2-1 off of a filthy goal.
Yeah, Joel Armia.
Yeah. Oh my God, falling down. Oh God, and the picture that they got perfectly from right behind the corner, him falling, the rest hand up. Anderson it was Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell just out of position. Oh man, what a play!
Yeah, almost. And I mean, game 2, the Leafs came out to play though, and took that game 5-1. I think Austin Matthews had like 3 points. So it's a little series. I mean, I said Canadians in 7, and I mean, as much as it sucks to say with Tavares going down, like it's more possible than ever now.
Yeah, see, I don't think so. I think Toronto's going to play with a huge like for Tavares moment now.
Oh yeah, how about that picture of like the memorial in front of like the Leaf Center?
Yeah,
it looks like Tavares like died.
No, it's so cringe-worthy when people do that kind of stuff. It's like players hurt. It relax. The White Sox did the same thing. They put a player's like jersey hanging up in their dugout.
Oh, that's so weird.
Like, relax. The player's just hurt. He's fine. Like, he'll be back.
Yeah, he was discharged from the hospital. He's at home getting rest and healing up.
The next morning too. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a day later or something. It was like 12 hours later or so. But so going from a freak accident to just another idiot incident from Kadri.
Yeah.
8-game suspension for
Nazem Kadri and getting suspended in the playoffs. The most iconic duo in the NHL.
the most iconic duel ever.
Yeah.
Anything. But so he got, what was it? Who was it again?
Justin Falk.
Justin Falk. Oh yeah, Falk. And just elbows him, blindsides him, elbows in the head. With his history, we knew right away it was going to be big suspension. I think they are appealing it though, but I don't think he can play until that process is taken care of.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
MLB, you can appeal it and play while your appeal happens.
Yeah, but is it the same for like the playoffs in the MLB?
I think so.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Yeah, 8 games for him. Pete Blackburn tweeted out that with his suspension, Kadri's now suspended for 31% of the eligible playoff games he could have played in. That's ridiculous. Like, what?
Yeah, that's not good. Like, I don't know. Like, he doesn't get suspended usually during the regular season, but it seems to happen all the time in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I sent that list of like his suspension history, and it's like the last 4 or 5 is just April. Like,
yeah, I just don't understand. Like I understand, like when a lot of players start going a little bit harder, like they're finishing their checks a little bit more, but his idea of finishing his checks a little bit more is like going and targeting the head, and I just don't get it.
It's always the same thing too, right? It's always an elbow or cross check to the head.
Yeah. I mean, way to go, bud.
I just don't get it because, he's playing for Colorado. Easily is winning that series. They're up 3-0 right now.
They scored 15 goals in 3 games and only let in 5.
They've got to be the favorites right now. They have to be.
It does not look like those teams are in the same league, like when they're playing.
Like NHL versus ECHL. I wouldn't even give them the AHL. Like,
yeah, it always looks like Colorado is on the power play, and it's just crazy to watch. And it's so much fun to watch because I hate St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, just that extra little motivation there.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, so let's do a quick, just like recap of each series where it's at right now. We won't get really into great detail of it. So yeah, Colorado leads 3-0 in that series. I think tonight's game 4, so they could wrap that up tonight or yesterday when you guys were listening to it.
Yeah. Also, Jordan Binnington has a 8-game playoff losing streak right now, which is fantastic. It's pretty funny. He's got a 3.77 goals against average and an 8.97 save percentage. Locked him up.
Yeah.
For how many more years now?
The 6x6.
Yeah.
Enjoy that, St. Louis. Oh, did we talk about? No, I think this happened after we recorded. Grubauer talking shit about Binnington.
Oh, yeah.
Was it something along the lines of like, I'm focused on playing goalie. If he wants to skate down here and do his fake punching shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to focus on making saves.
Yeah. I love how he's just becoming a joke of the league.
Yeah. I mean, when you lose 8 playoff games in a row after winning the cup, it's going to happen.
Oh, so fantastic. That series can wrap up today. Then you got the other Central Division. You got Vegas versus Minnesota. That's 3-1 Vegas. Minnesota is like in it, and then it's like Vegas is like, yeah, no, this shouldn't be happening, and they just turn it up and just. What was the last game to score like 5 unanswered goals?
It was 4-0 game 4.
Game
But
3.
I think game 3 they were up 2-0, and then it was like 5.
And then Marc-Andre Fleury with his 16th career playoff shutout. I think that's tied for third all time in NHL history.
That's pretty great.
Flowers a beast.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota is like I said when we were doing the playoff predictions. They're a great defensive team, but like their whole year, like their offense ran through Kaprizov. So when it comes down to buckle down against one guy for at least just 4 dubs in a 7-game series, I think Vegas is clearly showing that they can do that pretty easily.
Speaking of your offense running through one guy, let's go up north. Winnipeg, it's got a surprising 2-0 series lead on Edmonton.
It's true. It's I mean, just like what the Hawks tried to do, but Winnipeg is doing a little bit better, is shutting down McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah, I'm shocked on that one. I did not give them a chance to be in this series. I thought McDavid and Draisaitl, the way they finished off that year, they were just going to run through these guys. It didn't matter if it was just the two of them.
Yeah, especially since McDavid averaged like almost 2 points per game, and now 2 games down, Edmonton has 1 fucking goal.
Yikes.
Is he the most overpaid playoff performer in the league?
It's like at this point, though, too, it's like, what else can they do for him?
Well, get actual good players around him.
What money?
I don't know. Who knows?
So I think game 3 for that is tonight. So we'll see if Edmonton can get one back or if the Winnipeg Whiteout's gonna. Oh no, there's no Winnipeg Whiteout. I forgot it's in Canada.
Yeah, there's no fans.
Fucks. That's a huge game changer right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I haven't been able to watch the Canadian games as much as I wanted to.
All right, let's move over to
East.
Yeah, and I said the Central for the other division. It's not the Central. That was the West. My bad.
Oh, I didn't even realize it.
Central teams anyways, except for Vegas, so that threw me off. But yeah, let's go to the East. Boston has a chance to wrap up their series tonight, 3-1 lead on the Capitals. That game's getting a little chippy last game with Ovi. Ovi looked like out there, like he was the only player that wants to win, which seems to be the theme the last couple playoffs for them.
Yeah, I mean, he's just always determined to fucking win every single game. And it sucks when like watching that happen and them just losing, especially since the first 3 games went into overtime. It could have gone either way.
Yeah. Do you think this might be like a hey, I'm out of here for Ovi if they lose tonight?
No.
Think he resigns regardless?
I mean, I think there's a good chance of him resigning, but when you look at their cap friendly and like they gotta probably make some moves if they're looking to keep Ovi, unless he wants less money. I don't know. They gotta do something just because they're like $4 million over the cap right now. I'm trying to see what else they got.
How much less he can take at this point. I mean, I feel like he's already at 9.538. That's a pretty good fucking deal for Ovechkin.
He's already made over $123 million.
Yeah, but it's never enough for those Russians.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he tests free agency, but then ends up re-signing with the Caps. I don't see it. I don't know. Like for me, it's always. I think of the way that like the Hawks are going to do it, and I don't think they ever let Taves or Kane go to free agency.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Definitely will be. So yeah, that's the 3-1. That game that could end tonight. The other series in that one is Pittsburgh, New York Islanders. That's tied 2-2. pretty much as advertised. I think that series. I think it's good back and forth hockey.
Yeah, it's a battle.
Yeah.
I think there was like a Brandon Tanev, like, was interviewed and he was just saying like, yeah, we don't like them, they don't like us, and it's just going to be a battle every shift. It was like it really has been when you get to watch that, like after every whistle, like something's going down. And it's crazy. Is it what game 3 was that? Did Varlamov play game 3?
Oh, I don't remember.
Hold on, I'm gonna check real quick, just because I know game 1 Sorokin played, and yeah, so and then Varlamov came in, lost game 2, lost game 3. They put Sorokin back in, and then they won game 4. So I mean, in the Islanders' best interest is just keep rolling with Sorokin, even though Varlamov had an insane year this year.
I feel like he just hasn't come up big in the playoffs.
Oh, like that's like where he'll falter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. He's just not a playoff performer, not the clutch kind of guy.
It was kind of like Marc-Andre towards the end of his Pittsburgh run. It was like he was a fantastic in the regular season, but then the playoffs came and he just couldn't get the job done. So they went to Murray.
Yeah. Actually went to Jari and then to Murray.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
What? That's silly.
And then let's go move over to the Central really quick. Carolina leads 2-1 over Nashville. Nashville gets the win last night. Shows you how much playoff experience they have. That Saros is now second all time in Nashville's playoff wins.
Is he really?
Yep.
What? That's weird.
And
that game went to double OT as well. I think it said like he might have set the record for Nashville in most saves in a playoff game with like 52.
5-4.
Yeah. Little Matt Duchene double OT goal. But I mean, Nedeljkovic has had a great series besides that 5-4 game. Two goals against game 1, a shutout game 2.
Almost like he should get the Vezina trophy this year.
Yeah, right. It's crazy though, because I mean, Carolina is such a complete team. They got incredible depth all around, and then now they have a goalie that they can rely on. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where Carolina can go in the next couple of years. Like, they're a team. Yeah, they're a team that are easy to forget because that they're that Southern hockey team and all that. But it's an exciting team together. Like you said, get a goalie now. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch them.
Yeah, last time they had a rookie goalie lead their team in the playoffs, Cam Ward ended up in the cup. Hawks legend. Yeah, that's right.
And then the last series that's been really fun to watch is Tampa, Florida. Tampa's up 3-1 on this series. Kucherov got hurt last game. We'll see what that's all about. But holy crap, the Battle of Florida. It's becoming a great rivalry, a legitimate rivalry.
Yeah. I still think it's horseshit that they're $17 million over the cap, and it's just all of a sudden game 1, Stamkos and Kucherov are available. Whatever.
Watch Kucherov be able to play this playoff, come back, play, then starts the season hurt again. I can't do it. And sits out until playoffs. He just becomes a playoff player.
Yeah.
He plays in the playoff.
Or him and Stamkos just swap off, like who's hurt.
Yeah. I definitely, I hope, I know it's going to take a little bit now because the CBA was agreed upon, I think, last season to get everything this season happening.
Yeah.
But I really hope that they look at that and address that, because I could see doing like the Hawks where it was like, it was one player, a couple million over to be, what is it, $17 million over? That's ridiculous. There should be like a percentage point that's a cutoff. Like you can only be 10% above or 5% above, like X.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking stupid. I mean, it's a fun series to watch. So like both teams are always battling. Last game, it was just Tampa had almost no offense in the first period, but they scored 3 goals and 6 shots because they had 2 unbelievable tips and then a breakaway on a defensive breakdown. It's just like Florida can't buy a goal, and it's just rough to watch. I still hope that one goes 7.
I think they have to go to Spencer Knight, right? Game 5.
I would hope so. I think that'd be pretty neat. I think it can go either like very well and he wins his first game, or they get smoked.
But regardless, you know what? It's win or go home, so you might as well try something. Get it going.
Yeah, I think they scratched like Yandel like the last like couple of games as well.
Oh, does that mean no? Because it's regular season.
It's regular season, yeah. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that's a quick recap on the playoffs right here. You got anything else you want to say before we move on?
No. I just I hope Boston doesn't win tonight. I don't want to see a lot of the series end that are like have teams up 3-0, like 3 games up to whatever, except for Colorado. I want to see that sweep still.
I wouldn't mind seeing Colorado and Vegas just finish it.
I would still like to see Minnesota stay in, just to kind of push Vegas a bit. I don't want them to have such an easy road, even though I have them winning it all. If it's Colorado and Vegas next, that's going to be a fantastic series.
Which I think in a normal year that would make an awesome conference final.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just no matter what format they do, we're getting screwed of great conference finals.
Yep. Shit sucks.
Yeah. But all right. So we talked about it last episode. We're gonna do our little Hawk season recap.
Hawk season recap.
It was a season where we set the bar very low. Tanner had that great mentality of the lower the bar, the less disappointed you can be.
Absolutely.
Your life can be, and then the goddamn Hawks had to come in and flirt with success and maybe this team could go make a run, maybe that. Well, they finished on the season 24, 25-7 for 6th in the Central. What we forgot to mention last episode, which will tie in here nice here with the standing, is the draft lottery is June 2nd. And by finishing in 13th, the Hawks have a 2.7% chance of winning that first overall, or 12th. Sorry.
Wait, what? Finishing 13th?
12th, man. They have the 12th best odds.
Oh, I'm like, they didn't finish 13th in the league.
The 12th best odds. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a 2.7% chance of winning the draft lottery. And Tanner, you brought it up before we start recording. If nothing changes, they'll move from 12 to 11 because Arizona has to forfeit their first round pick this year because Arizona is a joke.
Yeah, or like out of every team, Arizona needs like draft picks, and they just keep fucking it up. And it sucks for them. And it's going to be crazy when Arizona wins the draft lottery and then it has to get redrafted because they're not allowed to win it. So I can't believe that like they got punished bad enough that like you would forfeit a first and then basically your ability to win the draft lottery, and they haven't won it before. Watch them fucking win it this time.
Oh, they win it this time. That would be, oh my God, that'd be so funny.
They can be the team F or team E or whatever from the draft lottery last year. So they'll have to do a second lottery.
I hope that if it does come up Arizona, they show it like, and your winner is the Arizona Coyotes. But then we do this again.
And then they do the first overall pick. They redrafted with all just the first round losers. We just got to keep that going like last year.
God.
Just have a placeholder team just so all the first round losers can fucking get possible first overall. That's terrible, but I hope the Hawks at least get to jump out to like, I mean, obviously, I think everybody that's a Hawks fan hopes the Hawks jump up to like 1, 2, or 3. But I mean, there's no, as far as I know, I haven't seen like a lot of like super hype, but I mean, there's no like Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid.
Oh, what is it?
Owen Powers is like the one
I've seen really like thrown out there as like, oh, the guy, but it's not even like the franchise guy. It's just like, oh, the best guy in this draft.
Yeah, and like Lafreniere had like a lot more hype, and I don't know.
That's turned out well so far.
Yeah, well, they fired everybody in the organization, so that's going to be a quick turnaround for them.
So, all right. So looking at like some of the leaders on the team really quick. 2-point leader, Kane, DeBrincat, Kubalik, 1, 2, 3. Kane 66, DeBrincat 56, Kubalik 38 points. Goals, you had DeBrincat with 32, Kubalik with 17, Kane with 15, and assist, you had Kane with 51, DeBrincat with 24, and Kubalik 21. So yeah, the guys that needed to be elite and be like top players out there were top players for the Hawks this year. Would have been nice to see a little bit more.
Well, it came out that Kaner was also playing hurt like the whole season.
Yeah.
So that affected his goals, I'm assuming, because 51 assists is fucking still, almost assists per game. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
But I want to see if I can pull. Yeah, his shooting percentage was only 7.9 this year, and it's usually around 12. I wonder if he had kept his normal shooting percentage with 191 shots, he would have had like 23 goals.
Yeah.
But,
it's about average for like what his usual is. So
yeah, over 20. But even looking at like just going off of these stats, his shooting percentage has been lowered, and I don't know by how much, but it's been lowered because of this current year. So maybe about 25 goals is what he could have been looking at, like 10 more. But like I said, he was playing injured. Luckily, DeBrincat had an insanely great bounce back season. Was it 2 years ago? He was like just under a point per game at like, I think he had like 78 points in 82 games.
2018, 2019, it's 76 points in 82.
76. Yeah. And then he had 52 last year. Or no, sorry, 45 last year and 70. And then this year he had over a point per game in 56 points in 52 games. Yeah, because he was out with COVID, remember, on the protocol list. He was shooting 20% this year. Holy shit. That's pretty good. That's how you average it out. Like, he literally was shooting 9% last year, and then he was shooting 20% this year.
And we talked about it many times on like after he's done bring things, is that I think this was his coming out that he's an elite player. He's a guy that can't be like looked past anymore, and that
he's a two-way.
Yeah.
He had a shorthanded goal this year. I wonder if that's like his first shorthanded goal. Like, he might have had one when he was like a child, but like, let's say since like juniors on, because I doubt he played on the penalty kill like ever until this past season.
Yeah, that's his only NHL shorthanded goal.
He's pretty good.
Pretty fucking good. And then Kubalik just continuing what he did his rookie year.
And I think the thing that hurts Kubalik is like he was doing great with Taves, and Taves not being there is like he's just kind of had to do it with anybody, because it's not like he's playing with Kaner. So I think that's still pretty impressive by him.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy too. Like, if he really has that magic with Taves comes back next year. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
So yeah, switching over to the goalies really quick. Lincoln in 17 wins, Subban 6, Delia 1. Goals against average, Lincoln at 3.01, Subban 3.20, and Delia 3.59. And then save percentage, I forgot to write this down.
909 for Lincoln, 900 for Subban, and 902 for Delia.
And then Subban and Lincoln both had 2 shutouts.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think goaltending was one of the situations that I don't what's what we said we wanted to see happen in the season preview actually ended up happening. We said we wanted to see Lincoln and get in there and see if he could possibly run away with it, and clearly did.
Yes.
For the first time since I think like Crawford and all that it's like, okay, cool. We have somebody that we can build around behind the net in the net and kind of not have to worry as much about that position. I think I still wouldn't hate if they brought in a veteran, like if they signed like a veteran a 1-year ticket. But
I mean,
they don't need to. But I wouldn't hate it if they did.
Yeah, I would prefer them to possibly help out on defense with like maybe a veteran presence there. That because I'm assuming they're going to end up losing like Dahan or Zadorov.
Yeah,
to the whole fucking expansion draft. But plus, like all the goalies are signed for another year, so it's still you have like another year of like basically everybody battling it out, and like usually players in a contract year are fucking playing pretty goddamn good. So we'll see about that.
And they signed that Arvid
Soderblom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they signed him too. I mean, he's younger. He's 21, so he probably won't be seen. But you never know. Who knows at this point?
I mean, I think I would assume he's going to be in the AHL since he's signed a contract with the Hawks now. Yeah, he'll be in Rockford.
Just under 900.
Just a little rookie deal, undrafted free agent. But yeah. So defensively, who is like our leaders defensively? Do you have that at all?
So they've changed the way they have listed on the NHL site. So let's go. All right, we'll go by points for defensemen. Volquist led the defense with 16 points. Keith had 15. Connor Murphy had 15. Wyatt Kalynuk had 9 for 4th, which was a big surprise.
Yeah, he also only played 21 games.
Yeah. He had a 15.4% shooting percentage as well.
Holy shit. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he was, I mean, if you go by games, like points per game, Boquist had a 0.46 and Kalynuk had a 0.43. That's pretty solid.
Really nice seeing the young guys get a chance to shine a little bit. Boquist only played 35 games too.
Yeah.
And
he was in and out. There was a lot of swapping the young guys in and out. I think the only consistent players were really like Murphy and Keith and Zadorov.
He had 8 points. And yeah, I mean,
he's not there for points.
I was looking to see if they had hits on the site, but they don't.
Maybe I don't know which one would have it. Let's see. Nope. Cat Friendly doesn't have it. NHL.com doesn't have it.
He won his place in the old Blackhawk fans' heart with that video. Don't touch my fucking goalie.
Yeah, right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I think he's the one that goes in the expansion draft. I really do.
Well, it depends on what they're gonna plan on doing to like hold on to guys. I don't know. I just hope the Hawks don't like make a deal to like give somebody to Seattle in order to not take someone. I think everybody. I mean, honestly, like you do Keith, you do Murphy, and if you're doing 3 defensemen, then you do Zadorov, because I'm pretty positive you don't have to protect Seabrook.
I know. I want to know if the actual ruling on that. I'm very curious to see that.
Well, because like you can ask people to waive their no move, and then he can just be like, yeah, and then I mean Seattle's not going to be like, okay, we take Seabrook, now you have to play. Like that's not going to happen. So you can get you can still do to Zadorov, Murphy, and Keith. I mean, DeHaan, I would love to keep DeHaan, but he just doesn't stay healthy enough. Like, there's always something wrong. Oh man, but I just don't know, because like I don't know if you really want to pay Zadorov like $4 million a year for I don't know how long, because you just re-signed Riley Stillman for 3 more years, and I thought he was looking pretty damn good, and he's a little bit younger. And you got all the young guys that you want to get ice time to. It's just, if you want to keep going year in, year out, just rotating all these young guys and having Keith still like take way too much ice time.
And you can't do that. There's no way. If you want to get competitive again, there's no way you can do that. You have to get consistency in the lineup. And
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to help. I think with this expansion draft is that it's going to force their hand a little bit to be like, okay, who are we losing? And now they kind of know. So there's no question of like, okay, well, how do we work around like having this guy in the lineup and all that?
Yeah, I think you protect who you think you should protect, and then you just let Seattle take whoever they want, because we saw things like with the Vegas draft that literally like Florida gave Vegas Marchessault in order to take Riley Smith.
Idiots.
And basically gave them 2/3 of their top line like that year. And I was just like, what is happening? And then like Columbus gave like up a pick and then William Karlsson in order to hold on to somebody else. I think even like for Florida, it was in order to hold on to like Petrovic. And I don't even think he's in Florida anymore. And then like William Karlsson ends up putting up 40 goals, and the player that they ended up holding on to in Columbus like did jack shit. And it's just kind of like, I think you just let it play out the way it's going to play out, because I think it looks worse if you're like, here, take, like, we'll give you Pius Suter in order to like hold on to like fucking DeHaan or something like that. Or like, I don't know, just don't worry about it. Protect the guys that you want to protect, and then let them just take somebody.
Here's something too that's not a big secret, that Bowman has tried to move Dylan Strome.
Oh, here, actually, I was going to bring this up since we're talking about Strome.
But
let's say Taves doesn't come back next year. Just hypothetical. And we're looking at, before this, we were looking at free agents to be. It's like, what do you think about maybe if Edmonton can't re-sign Ryan Nugent-Hopkins,
and
then possibly making a deal to get him for like Dylan Strome?
So trade Dylan Strome for like Nugent's rights.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's Nugent's rights, because I think he's going to be an unrestricted free agent.
I mean, you get straight for his signing rights to get first crack at it.
Yeah. Or even like a sign and trade possible.
I wouldn't hate that. I think, and that's the thing too. It's like, as much as we want to say, oh, Tace is coming back, he's coming back, it's like you do have to plan that for that what if.
Right.
But what is Nuge gonna want?
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't know. He's making $6 million right now.
I don't think he makes $6 million, more than $6 million. I think, you know, I don't know what
he's gonna want a little raise, but he only he puts up 35 points in 52 games. He had 61 and 65, 69 and 82. Like, he's over 0.5 points per game. But I mean, that's also like, he's not the number one guy, you know? He's behind Draisaitl and McDavid, which I think would be good, because like if we had like a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and let's say he centers a line of Kaner and DeBrincat, that'd be a pretty fucking good line.
Yeah, but I don't know. Taking him for more than $6 million is a little.
Yeah,
that's
just the thought, though.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of trying to get Nuge. I just don't know, not knowing the cost of what it would take to have him sign him.
Yeah,
not knowing for sure what's going on with Taves, if he's coming back or not. And I don't think, and honestly, I don't think offense is our issue.
Right. I'm just saying if we're looking at a center and just in the hypothetical that may possibly planning if Taves isn't able to make it back or not.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So what I was kind of going with is exposing Strome to Seattle. Like, do you think that's something they can take? Because I know Bowman's been trying to get rid of him, and then that ends up being a huge risk. Like we said, if Taves doesn't come back, and we can't afford to bring in like a Nugent Hopkins or something like that, like is that really a big loss if we lose Strome?
Honestly, like the more we have him, the less I'm like hyped on him. Like the first year we got him, like it was great because he put up like 50 something points.
It's shot out of a cannon.
But then it's just been nothing but like super soft, like baby shit.
Three million too for what he's getting paid. Like
just inconsistency, not being able to stay in the lineup because he doesn't work hard. He literally got bounced from a center position because like we had guys that we wanted to play more, and then we tried to fit him in on the wing, but he doesn't. I don't know. He's not like a corners kind of guy. He doesn't have the speed. Like he's got good vision, but like he still only put up 17 points in 40 games. Like I don't know. Like he's good for over. It's like a 0.5 points per game, but first year 51 points in 58 games looks a lot better than not even 20 and 40.
So here, looking at the free agent centers, I'm gonna do like $1 million, give it like $1 million above and below. So up to $4 million into we'll say 2.5. For what we're paying Strome, what we can possibly look at. You got Alexander Wenberg, Riley Nash, Philip Deneau, Eric Stahl, Michael Granlund. Let me see. I looked at this. I don't know if they're playing. Yeah, so those are like a couple options.
Mm-hmm.
That I think, I don't know, a Wenberg would be exciting. I think he's having a great season, like a prove-it season a little bit. 29 points in 56 games.
He's playing on a pretty stacked Florida team though too.
Philip Deneau.
Bring in a little Eric Stahl.
36. Jesus Christ.
He only had 13 points this year. What the hell? Like 2 years ago, he scored like 40 goals. I swear.
He got stuck in Buffalo.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You deteriorate really quickly. Oh, no, it's not 2 years ago. It was like 2017-18. He had 42 goals. And then he had 22, then 19, and then this year 5. So I think he's hitting a real big drop-off. So never mind. No Eric Stahl, no thank you.
Yeah, there's really not much at center position that I think would be affordable. I mean, there's some great options up top.
With all the cap space we have, man, I don't know. Maybe you get like a David Krejci. You go for a Krejci.
You got $10 million still in there is coming off for Taves coming back.
Man, if we could pull like a Krejci for like a 1-year deal. This is all just saying like if Taves isn't able to come back, but also just to kind of cover our asses. You get Krejci on like a 1-year, $8 million or some shit because he's making $7.25.
You want a 35-year-old Krejci for 1 year at like an $8 million, or Nugent Hopkins, 28-year-old Nugent Hopkins for like a 2-3 year deal at around $7.
See, if I'm for Nugent Hopkins, I don't see why he signs at 2 or 3 years.
You think
He's 28. He's probably going to want like another 6-year, 7-year contract.
What price would be that would be like in your wheelhouse? What would you feel comfortable giving him for a long-term deal?
Nuge?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because he's gonna want a bigger deal, but I mean, I wouldn't really go over like 6.5.
I was gonna say like 6.57.
Yeah, I still think 7 is too much.
Oh yeah, I do too, but I think that's what it's gonna probably take. I think he's probably gonna look for 7+.
Just looking, let's see, like looking at his points, like how much of this is a product of, like it doesn't show on Cap Friendly, of course. But I was gonna say, like, how much is a product of like playing on a power play with Connor McDavid? You know?
Yeah.
Let me see how many power play points he has. Nuge has 20 power play points.
Of his, what did he have, 35?
Of his 35 points.
Jesus Christ.
So maybe maybe I'm rethinking that a bit. I mean, our power play would be, I think, pretty good. It would be a step up. But even on that first line, like you would have Nuge, Kane, DeBrincat, Kalanick or Boqvist on the point with Kubalik, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I hope the Hawks have like a crazy good offseason, but I don't know what what is it? So Zach Smith's coming off the cap. Nylander needs a new deal, which I think should be pretty cheap if they're looking to hold on to him. Zadorov needs a new deal. Hagel needs a deal, and I hope, like we always say, like give him an 8-year get him that Colton Sissons deal. Get him like 8 years at $20 million.
That one too, though, the ball is so in the Hawks' court with him. Like he's not eligible for the holdout or anything like that. So he pretty much has to sign. It's either sign what we're offering you or you don't play type of thing.
That'd be so great if they got him on like more than 3 years, please. That'd be great. They got Pius Suter. They got to get a deal to Adam Gaudette. I liked what I saw from Adam Gaudette at the end of the year. And I think that he's a great addition and hopefully can play, I don't know, like second or third line.
Yeah, it was a good sample size from him.
Yeah. Kampf needs a deal. Who I think Kampf is so weird because he shows like this offensive upside, but does not produce. He's good defensively though. Also Vinny Hinostroza. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. He's only 27, gonna be 28.
And I thought he was great coming back.
Yeah, I think he was one of the better Hawks when he got brought back in.
If he'd signed for under 2, I wouldn't mind keeping him.
Yeah. The only thing I'm just saying is we have so many forwards. Plus, like you're looking at, I don't know if they're trying to bring anybody up next year. Yeah, like Henrik Borgstrom. They just signed him for 2 years, $1 million. I'm sure they're going to want to bring him in. Like if Taves comes back, like Nylander coming back, like do you really hold on to Hinostroza or you just let him walk?
And you got sitting down there too, Evan Barrett, Chalupa Batman.
Oh, fuck, man. I forgot about Evan Barrett. What did he do this year? Was he playing in the AHL? 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points in 27 games on the Ice Hogs.
The Ice Hogs were trash this year.
Yes. That's not too bad. I'm just so excited for this offseason. Can't wait to see where we draft. Can't wait to see what happens in the expansion draft. Did they announce the expansion draft at all? Like when that's going to happen?
I think it's probably going to be the same. It's going to probably be around a couple days before the draft. So it gives them the chance to make deals with teams if they need to.
July 21st.
Is the expansion draft?
Yeah.
When's free agency start this year?
July 1st. Right? Or is it pushed back?
It would have to be pushed back. So how can you do the expansion draft before free agency?
I don't know. Well, I think they're allowed to sign free agents like right now. That's why they signed the one kid from it was like the QMJHL.
Yeah.
So yeah, when would it's such a weird year. I thought that they were just going to do everything like as normal. July 28th?
Yeah.
So the expansion draft is the week before then. Okay. It's a shortened fucking free agency if they're looking at going back to normal.
Yeah.
But all right.
All right, so let's switch gears up real quick. Let's go with Blackhawk Awards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're gonna give out Chicago Blackhawk Hart, Chicago Blackhawk Norris, Chicago Blackhawk Calder, and Chicago Blackhawk Vezina.
I like it.
Where do you want to start? The Hart?
Yes. Why not? Who do you have? Kaner. Okay, yeah. I guess we have to go Kaner. I really want to go with DeBrincat, though. I think he had an amazing season. I want to go. Like if we would have played a full season, I think he was on like a 5 or 6 game goal streak at the end of the year. Like he could have probably hit 40.
Yeah, you convinced me. I'm switching it
to DeBrincat. Yeah. So oh my God, here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was on a 7-game goal streak with 9 goals and 2 assists. He was literally like trying to get it done so bad. And I don't know, but 9 goals in 7 games brings him up from 23 to 32. It's not bad. Yeah. He just impressed me so much this year. Kaner did Kaner things, and like Kaner's always impressive. Yeah, so I mean the two of them, it's hard to decide. Kaner just, he had the 51 assists.
You want to just call him Co-Harts?
Yeah, why not? I just think, yeah, DeBrincat was just too much fun to watch this year with everything that he's done. Honestly, if we had a Selke winner, I'd say DeBrincat is it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I can't wait, and hopefully he gets like votes in the future, because for how small he is and him being able to pick the puck off of people is insane.
Yeah, it's just incredible, because it's like he knew after last season, it was kind of like a down year, and he knew he had to step it up, and I think he stepped it up way more than expected, and it's gonna be very exciting to see next season what he can do with a full season. And yeah, I'm fucking pumped for it.
Yeah. Who do you have for Vezina? Easy.
Vezina?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Who? Lincoln? Yeah. I think Lincoln's a good choice. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, Lincoln kind of came out of nowhere. Well, not really came out of nowhere. We've been talking about him since he won gold with Finland, and he has always been like on our radar as a goalie that could be the goalie of the future for the team. And he really stepped up this year, like we said earlier. 17 wins, 909. No, was it 909?
Yeah, no, it was like 901. I don't have it up anymore. It might be 909. But yeah, 909, because Subban was 900 and Delia was 902.
And he just take away the last couple weeks of the season where he kind of like, I think it was just Fowler time catching up with him a little bit,
Yeah, all the exhaustion from trying to hold the team up.
I think though, like, I'm super excited, and it's great to see that it's like, okay, well, next year this is his job to lose.
That's true.
Feels so much more confidence in the team going in when you have a goalie that is your number one guy. Whereas coming into the season, it was like, okay, well, we got 3 goalies, whoever wants it can take it, kind of thing. And as exciting as the competition is, I feel more comfortable knowing who is in that position. I'd rather have a guy lose the job than not knowing whose job it is.
Yeah. And I think next year is still going to be another one where like they'll have the chance to all prove themselves. So, what is it called? Let's do Calder. Who's your Calder? We had so many rookies this year. Everybody's scoring goals.
I was going to say Lincoln, but I'm not going to. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. I think I'm going Hagel.
Yeah. I wanted to go Hagel too. It's like either Hagel or Suter.
Yeah.
I think Hagel was slightly more impressive just because, I mean, Suter got to play on that top line almost a whole year with Kaner and DeBrincat. And Hagel is he's just so much fun to watch. He's just always going hard.
The better Andrew Shaw.
Oh my God, yeah.
But,
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch Hagel and Suter and even Kurashev. Like if Kurashev can do more of what he did against Detroit that one game where he just stick handled through everybody, that'd be pretty nice. Like, who else do we have?
Kelnick,
Yes, Kalnick.
Nicholas Bowden, Mark Hardman only played 8 games, but he looked decent.
Mike,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and oh my God, they don't have the stats of hits on here, but he had like 30 hits in like 5 games or something. Like he was going off.
Nice to see that grit coming back a little bit too. Like we have our guys that are going to be the fancy finesse, make it look pretty, and then we're going to have the guys that are going to fucking bang it out in the corner and just muck it up and give those guys their opportunities to be pretty.
Honestly, like that's what we need is like the guys that aren't afraid to throw the body in the corners because the team has been getting a little bit too soft lately. I'm gonna try and find his hit stat because I remember during watching games, I was just like, holy shit. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he was also like one of 9 rookies to score.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reliance on rookies this year. And please, anywhere. Why is it so difficult to find hits? Here we go. 38 hits in 8 games. It's almost 5 hits a game.
And you need that. You do need that. And you're kind of seeing that with the Tom Wilson type of situation and Marchand's out there. It's that, yeah, you need this game. It's getting away from that physicality a little bit, but you still need a guy on your team that can step up for a star player that gets hit.
Yeah.
Or you need that guy that can to police the game themselves because the refs are kind of letting the teams play a little bit more nowadays. So it's like you need that guy that's going to be able to step up and call these guys out on their bullshit and play the body or drop the mitts if need be.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of helps to balance out the team,
Yeah.
You're not going to get bullied, but you're not going to have too many guys that are that big and then be too slow and to compete.
The last award, Norris.
Should we just give it to the defenseman with the most points? Honestly, I think with like more of if we had more games, I would say Kalnick.
Yeah, I think he was on his way. I think
Murphy was a good one though too.
Yeah, Murphy was great. I'm giving it to Keith.
Yeah.
I just think, his age, he's still consistently up there. I mean, he was a -13, but again, maybe Murphy.
Murphy, I think, was just probably our most solid defenseman this entire year, besides the 1 week where he couldn't keep his helmet on.
All right, I'll go with Murphy. If we want to do, makes it easy,
Yeah, if you want to just keep going with my answers.
No, it makes sense because I mean, Murphy was a +1 on a team that
didn't have very many pluses at all.
Yeah. 3 goals, 12 assists still.
Yeah, I think though, like, look out for Kalnick in the future, man. Like, he very impressed me a lot, especially since they didn't have him like on the starting roster because they had slotted Mitchell, Bowden, and Boquist above him. And I think it was more maybe of just like a bias towards like their drafted players rather than somebody they signed as a free agent that was drafted by Philly. But he came in and had great offensive upside. I think he was solid defensively. At the end of the year, he was on the power play with everybody, and I was just like, okay, like, you do you, man. I'm all about it. It's the same thing with like the goalie situation. Like you have all these young guys in like a couple spots, and you just have them battle it out and see who wants it the most. And he clearly showed he wanted it the most.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go to two more things, and we'll move on. We'll wrap things up here. Surprise of the year for you.
Kirby Dach coming back early. I thought he was done for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I think that was great. I know a lot of people were kind of upset that like they thought he came back too early, but he was medically cleared. And if he were to take more time off, that stunts the growth of somebody so young. So it was great to have him back into the lineup.
And they played
I was gonna say it kind of sucked though too, because like when he did come back, that's when we took our tailspin and lost the playoffs like spot that we had. But I mean, I would never blame Dach for that. Like he needs to get the ice time. He's a huge part of the future of this franchise.
Yeah, and they played it smart though too. Like once they knew they were out of the season, he still dealing with some pain that they shut him down. So it's like he still play 18 games. Looks good, I thought, in my opinion. I mean,
he always looks good.
I really hope that he were able to get a full season out of these guys. Boquist, Dach, full season from Ian Mitchell. I just really excited to see. So I think my surprise of the season is just going to be how well the rookies actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you saw that this team was going to be a lot of young guys and not, experienced players, it was kind of like, oh shit, this is going to be a long fucking season. But I mean, up until what was it, like a month left, they were there. They were in contention. Yeah. A bunch of kids that everybody written off this team. And granted, yeah, we were playing the same teams over and over again, and it might have been a different story if we played the entire league. But it also could have been a better story too, because you'd also get a chance to see them against some of these weaker teams that could have given them the confidence to really, put them over the edge to move forward.
Yes, very true. I mean, I think what was it? Our division was pretty goddamn difficult. I mean, besides Colorado and Vegas being on top in the West, you have Tampa, Carolina, and Florida, who are also 3 of the top 8 teams in the league. So, I mean, having to play what they did 8 games per team, playing 24 games against like 3 of the top teams.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, especially on all the rookies, man. Like, I mean, and we talked about how Kaner was hurt. So him not being at 100% and still being over a point per game it just goes to show you how amazing Kaner is as well. Like I wish I could say he's the biggest surprise of the year, but he's never. There's no surprises with Kaner really anymore, because you always expect something amazing out of him. Like the bar may have been set low for the team, but the expectations are always just through the roof for Kaner, and he always exceeds it.
Yeah, MVP talks about like a Hart talk. It was in the Hart talks until they fell out of the playoffs. They're like, if he makes it to the playoffs, gets this team into the playoffs, there's no reason why he shouldn't be one of the 3 nominees. He wouldn't have won it with McDavid, but like,
yeah, then McDavid decided that he wanted to go and get almost 2 to 3 points per game against the rest of the Canadian division.
All right, disappointments.
I don't know. I'm not really disappointed. I think maybe just the defense, like not any player in particular, but a lot of the defensive breakdowns that led to like losses in games were always the same. It was always somebody just standing alone in front of the net.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at what point are you not practicing this in practice? Like, why does it happen so often and it looks so similar each time?
That's something you're taught and might.
Yeah.
You always have to have one defenseman in front of the net. Yeah, I would agree with that. That, and then probably just disappointment too is maybe the use of Delia. I think that.
Yeah, that's only you. Yeah, but I mean that makes sense too. Yeah.
I just think that in a situation where it's like you have your clear-cut number 1 guy, and the struggles that Subban had throughout the year, I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger and be like, okay, Delia, let's see you can do, like it just didn't make sense given what this season was. I looked at this season as a great like tryout for all these young guys and these guys that are trying to establish them as a role. And I just don't understand why they didn't give him more of a look besides the last 2 games, this last like 3 games of the season.
Well, let me pull up Subban's stats. So when Subban and Delia started this season, Delia he got shat on and he got screwed. Subban got screwed 1 game and then sat for a bit because Lankinen came in and showed everybody that he was pretty damn good. Subban in his first 5 games, so like the first game, terrible, 5 goals against, 8.48 save percentage. His next 4 games though, he came in 3 goals against, 9.23 save percentage, 1 goal against, 9.68 save percentage, 2 goals against, 9.31 save percentage, and then a shutout. So in his first 5 games, he had 1 loss. And I think it was and then he had an overtime loss and 3 wins. So like then it was a little bit up and down, but like he didn't play bad. It's just when he did play bad, it was very noticeable.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is crazy because he had a lot of games with a good handful of games with like over a 9, like a 9-10. Because he only played 16 games. So I mean, looking at that, like he was a great backup. Especially like we said, like the team wasn't supposed to do anything and they didn't have the greatest defense. So he's you don't know which Subban you're gonna get though. That's the only thing that was funny. And I agree. I wish they would have given Delia like another shot or 2. But when they were rolling, that's what they had going. And so like those were the hot hands. And so I completely understood. And I'm glad they actually gave Delia a shot again at the end of the year, but maybe like
I think I just kind of my question is just more is like why it took so long to maybe give him. That's I think more. So I guess it maybe wouldn't be a disappointment about that. It's just kind of more like I wonder what the exact thought process was, because it's like especially if you're looking for who's going to be your true backup, think when like we said, when Subban was bad, he was bad. We'd be like, okay, you know what? Let's toss in Delia in that game. Like let Subban breathe and whatever, and then see what Delia does.
Or to even just have him in as like a backup, just in case. But they didn't even have him dress. He was just taxi squatting it for like the longest time. And well, he also got shat on in fucking Rockford, but there isn't even a team there basically.
Yeah, they're all up in Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more quick questions, and then we're gonna wrap this up here. One player you want to watch in 21-22 season?
DeBrincat. Absolutely DeBrincat. I want to see. I honestly think that like he could end up having the type of season that Sharp had, like pre-2010, where he was on the penalty kill and scored like 10 fucking goals on the PK. If our penalty kill of like Doc and DeBrincat are out there like enough during an 82 game season, I think you see them putting some points up. It's going to be really exciting.
I'm going to go with I got 2. One is Kalnuk. I want to see what he does in a full season if they give him like, be in that top 6. And then 1, I'll be very curious to see if he ends up playing Jonathan Taves, what he can do the year after missing a year. I mean, I know it's not a year of rest, but I mean, a year to kind of, if he did have whatever he was dealing with, plus maybe healing up any injuries he's had over the years that he hasn't had a chance to like really address because he was always playing, he was always stepping up and all that kind of stuff. I'm just really curious to see is he going to take a step back? Is he going to take a step forward? What Taves are we getting?
Yeah, I mean, also with Kaner getting, I mean, probably more rest right now than he had during the offseason, so that whatever his nagging injury is goes away. And like, is Kaner still going up? Like his graph is just still going up while everybody else is heading down in that age. He's insane.
All right, and we kind of addressed that a little bit, but without naming names, one move you want to see made by Bowman's all season position wise?
Honestly, like I wouldn't mind getting something more solid on defense that like the Hawks can work around. Like something to take pressure off of Keith.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he needs to be playing 23 minutes a night. Like that's really what it is. Like he's been solid, but like you're starting to rely on Keith like way too much. And like there should be some sort of transition plan out of Duncan Keith.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the transition plan is in place with these young guys, but you still need find someone that between the age of like 29 and 33 maybe. Kind of like in that still like that prime age right there to kind of like, come in, eat some of the minutes that you can't really give to these young kids yet.
Yeah, because you don't want to just start throwing everybody into the goddamn fire and seeing who survives. Because like we just did that really, but maybe no. I'm just looking at free agent defenseman, Dougie Hamilton. He'll put up points. I don't know. There's not really anybody to. I don't know. I can't even think.
35, Dougie Hamilton, Mark Stahl.
Alec Martinez is 33.
Emerson back.
Yeah, maybe Zdeno Chara. That would be awful.
Mason Berry.
No, like we need more like defensive guys.
Honestly, Chalmer back on a 3-year deal, wrap up his career, come back to Chicago.
3 years? Why would you do 3 years?
I don't know. 2. It's just because you give him because he's under 35, so you can give him a long-term deal and he can still retire and not have it affect your cap. Boom.
Yeah, but just do like 1.
2. We'll call it 2.
Okay, fine, whatever.
All right, so yeah, I think overall, as much as it looked like it was a failure of a season, I think this was actually a huge success of a season for this team. They've exceeded expectations in my books, and I think a lot of people's books. And I'm really excited to see where the future goes with this team next year and what they can do with the full 82-game season. You got any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, I just can't wait for the rest of this playoffs. Can't wait till we get the lottery. Can't wait till we get that expansion draft. It's all exciting stuff coming up. Every year is exciting.
All right. So as always, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Winky Banner Podcast, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, help us become the #1 hockey podcast in countries other than Vietnam. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, put your VPN in other places.
Follow all social media, Instagram at WCB Podcast, Twitter. Follow the Hockey Podcast Network, and use our DraftKings code THPN for exclusive offers. Despite what the ad reads say, there's more things than just basketball on that site. So you can do hockey, you can do golf, NASCAR,
playoff hockey.
So
bet on the Colorado Avalanche to sweep the Blues, to finish the sweep, basically.
So that was episode 137. Tanner, what do you want to call it?
The Hawks wrap up, or season, I don't know, Hawks season awards, one of those two. There you go.
All the Hawks wrap up.
Yeah.
All right. So for Tanner and Jarom, this has been episode 137. The Hawks wrap up. We will we'll check in the next one.
Sorry, yeah, to not. Love you, boys. Bye.